The thing goes skrrrra, pop, 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 pop. Kitty, kitty, pop, pop. And the boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom.
To call Metroid Samus Returns a remake to Metroid The Return of Samus is an understatement. It's not a port of a classic with remastered graphics and new features to cater to the new generation like we've seen with the Legend of Zelda remakes over the years, but takes the best elements from the side-scrolling Metroid games and sharpens them to deliver one of the most intense and epic side-scrolling games we've seen since Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze for the Wii U. Metroid Samus Returns doesn't bring too many new things to the table. This is the first side-scrolling Metroid game to allow 360-degree aiming. But then again, the enemies in this game are much more agile, so it doesn't make things much easier. And for the first time outside of the Super Smash Bros. Series, Samus is given melee attacks to combat her enemies. The game forces you to master this technique in order to become efficient and survive. The majority of enemies in this game, including the bosses, will charge at you relentlessly, and the only way to halt their momentum is to counter with a melee attack. Despite you only having to press one button, using a melee attack requires a bit of timing, especially when you're shooting at multiple enemies or navigating in an area using Samus' acrobatics. And it's not just enemies that require you to have good timing. The game is littered with all sorts of hazards and obstacles that require precise button execution as well as in-game spatial agility. Another one of the new aspects in Metroid Samus Returns is the Aeon abilities. There are 4 abilities in total that each deplete her Aeon gauge. One of them drastically increases Samus' fire powers, which allows her to disintegrate almost any enemy in the game in a short time. Energy armor that drains her Aeon gauge instead of her health. Phase shift that slows down time except for Samus. And the most important one of the game that you get in the beginning, the Aeon sensor that scans nearby uncharted territory as well as reveal hidden breakable walls. For a video gamer in his mid-20s, I found this very helpful, especially when I got stuck. I work full-time, I have part-time jobs, I'm married, I'm a professional fighter. I don't have time to sit around and get lost in a game, and I also don't need to be spending money on a strategy guides when I gotta pay bills, you know. Bad enough I spend so much time playing video games as it is. Another important addition to Metroid Samus Returns is the first time they installed teleportation statues in a 2D Metroid game. Metroid is infamous for the tedious and elongated backtracking. You still will be doing a lot of backtracking in this game, but at least this time it feels more like a tedious chore for a completionist as opposed for a fundamental game flaw. Now that you have the option to teleport across the map. Graphics in this game are extremely beautiful, regardless if you're playing in the 3D settings or not. It's the background in the Metroid Samus Return that makes you feel like you're really playing in some sort of diorama. But that's also one of my gripes, is that the graphics literally tease you with the background depth. I was hoping that this time around they would try to reinvent some of the conventions in the side-scrolling Metroid format and allow you to enter the areas that you see in the background. Plus, in 2017, if a game takes you less than 13 hours to beat with 100% completion, there is no reason why they shouldn't be a multiplayer or some sort of co-op functionality, versus mode, or the ability to play as other Metroid bounty hunters. True, beating the game unlocks hard mode, and plus beating the game also unlocks stuff in the gallery, but real gamers don't care about that kind of crap. Take Pikmin 3 for example. The story campaign was short, but you had a versus mode and a co-op mode outside the main story, plus downloadable content. As a matter of fact, I don't even have to go as far as to use Pikmin as an example, because Metroid Hunters for the original Nintendo DS did all of this, minus the downloadable content. How is a game that came out 10 years ago better than the newest installment is beyond me. Metroid Samus Returns is definitely a solid and thrilling game, and definitely the quintessential pick of the side-scrolling Metroid games thus far, but in no way is it revolutionary, so therefore I can't merit it as being a must-have for the 3DS. This game gets the C+ King Chimera ready.